All righty. Wanted to make sure that we recorded that because once again, there's going to be some great information that's going to be shared today, and we wanted to make sure that the webinar is recorded. Once again, it will be recorded, and we will have it posted on the website on the landing page where you can apply for the program. So once again, if for whatever reasons you have a colleague or a friend or someone in addition to yourself that you know might be interested in the program, we'll be able to refer them to the website. We are going to have that loaded onto the website. And also, if you happen to be here as well and you wanted to go back to this recorded webinar just to go back and review some of the information to make sure that you're up to date with all the necessary information requirements, you'll have access to that as well. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So yes, once again, thank you for your participation today. Thank you for showing up. Once again, great information to give you some background, understanding and information in terms of what the program is about, the training that will be taking place, and once again, get everybody up to date in terms of the application process, requirements, and then really to get an understanding, see if your business is set up to participate in the program, if this is going to be a great time for you to participate, and just in general, seeing if this is a good opportunity that makes sense for you at this particular moment in time. All right, so today's agenda, we're going to just talk a little bit about the organization in general. We'll also talk about a little bit of the history of the Ascend Capital Accelerator. We'll also talk about the values. The values are very important to us in terms of being able to communicate what we're about, what we stand for, and really the underlying principles that kind of really generate the type of experience that we look to here to try to create and really try to deliver when it comes to the experience we have around the Ascend Accelerator program. We'll also share a little bit, just some high-level accomplishments about some of past participants, about where they are and what they've accomplished. And then we'll go into some program overviewing, also discussing some of the eligibility requirements, and then participant expectations in terms of if you are going to participate, what will be expected of you as cohort members. We'll share some of the program timeline, and then we'll jump into some Q&A. So if at any time you have some questions, hold those to the end. The presentation here will be all about 10 or 15 minutes or so. And then at the end, we'll definitely jump into the Q&A and answer any questions. So if there anything comes up during the process of the presentation itself, just kind of jot that down. And I think also we do have the Q&A open. You can answer that as well. But if you answer a question now, we might actually answer it later on in the actual presentation. So once again, feel free to hold those questions to the end. If once again, just jot that to yourself, and we'll be able to definitely get to that information, hopefully answer those questions for you. So just a little bit about our mission. Wacif really is about promoting equity and economic opportunity in underserved communities. We've been operating since 1985, about 37 years or so. And our focus is really on social capital, knowledge capital, and financial capital. And those three areas kind of work in tandem in a lot of different ways. In terms of the particular Ascend program, it kind of encompasses those three things very nicely. The social capital, obviously, you get to collaborate with your fellow Ascend cohort members, and then also the ecosystem that the organizations that are participating, particularly with this one with Ascend and also with SeedSpot, you get to tap into those resources and those networks as well. Knowledge capital, obviously, is the training that you'll be receiving and that information, starting a business, building a business, marketing your business, operating your business, things of that nature. Of course, it'll be a part of that program as well. And then financial capital, there's all kinds of opportunities to connect with financial resources, whether that's loan capital or building relationships with folks. If you're looking to get grant dollars, where are the resources to tap into those app opportunities. And then also through some of the networks that will come into play with this program, maybe even some opportunity to have a conversation with venture capital or folks in that venue, in that arena as well. So once again, all kinds of different ways to benefit in the program in terms of taking opportunities to tap into the social knowledge capital and the financial opportunities that we present through the program. So just in terms of some of the products and services that we offer through Wacif in general, we provide business financing, advisory services, training, and community engagement. And as the titles kind of say themselves, business financing, once again, how do you finance your business? How do you finance your enterprise? We have loan products, lines of credit, term loans, grant opportunities, things of that nature that are available to business owners. And also from the advisory services, just the opportunity to talk one-on-one, either through Wacif or through one of our partners. This, once again, what are those advisory services, sort of consulting in terms of getting that information that you need to build and develop your business. Now, training, workshops, Ascend Cohort, once again, is within that realm in terms of training opportunities to better equip you to grow your business. We also have a number of different products and services and experiences. We have something called the Creators Academy for Entrepreneurs, which is around digital engagement. I'll be covering that here momentarily. We have our Enterprise Women of Color Center, which provides training, once again, in a wide variety of different areas. And then we also have our Access to Capital workshop format, which once again really delves into the idea of you're looking to access capital for your business. How does Wacif support you in that? How are we oriented to provide assistance with you in those endeavors? And it's kind of really moving you forward in that regard. And then last, but definitely not least, we really focus on a lot of community building, community engagement. Once again, that's invaluable in terms of tapping you into resources in terms of that human capital component and giving you access to partners, to collaborators, to potential audience members, to customers, and even partnerships. And so once again, through these lenses is with some of the main ways that Wacif really operates in terms of ourselves and also the partners and the other business entity that we collaborate with. Just to kind of quickly cover some of the areas here within the Wacif umbrella that we sort of operate through, our Enterprise Women of Color really focuses on women entrepreneurs and the work around that. As I mentioned earlier, we have our Creators Academy for Entrepreneurs, which is a newly started initiative. What really focuses on marketing, brand engagement, and digital capacities. Focusing on AI is a lot of things we've been doing here lately. Once again, anything around marketing, e-commerce, things of that nature is what really our Creators Academy for Entrepreneurs focuses on. We have our Anacostia Art Center, those who've been over there over in Ward 8. We have a great facility that facilitates a lot of great discussions and convening, art spaces, art experiences, things of that nature, but really a great brick and mortar opportunity for us to engage our audiences. The Hive is a co-working space located in Anacostia Art Center as well, for those who are interested in those type of resources and opportunities to grow your business. And then the Small Business Resiliency Center, just this idea, once again, what does resiliency mean? How does that get baked into building your business, growing your business, and sustaining your business? In terms of our training, in terms of what we focus on, mentioned some of this earlier, but our areas that we focus on, really 6 areas: capital readiness and financial management, once again, very important in establishing and growing your business. Marketing, branding, and digital engagement, we kind of execute that once again through our Creators Academy for Entrepreneurs. Strategy and strategic planning, growing your business. Ascend is one of the main ways in terms we sort of prepare entrepreneurs. Where is your business going? How are you going to get there? Strategically, how do you think about a year or 2 or 3 out? And the Ascend is one of the best opportunities in terms of business owners thinking along those lines. Community building, once again, there's a number of different experiences we create, opportunities, workshops, and just experiences and events that we just allow folks to get together, discuss, build ideas, engage, and learn about what's happening both within your business, folks that are like-minded like you, and just other resources in the community as well. And I spoke about it earlier as well, advisory services, that one-on-one opportunity to get that consultation experience in terms of figuring out, what resources you need, what opportunities might be out there in the environment that can help your business, or where it might be an area that you can sort of connect in terms of maybe better building your business plan, things of that nature as well. And then arts and culture, once again, at the Anacostia Art Center, for those who may have not been there or who have been there plenty of times, this is where we kind of get into the creativity of the community. And we have a great art director there, Jessica Randolph, who facilitates fantastic experiences around art and just creativity gathering and just building the community in that regard as well. So Seed Spot, this is one of our current partners, actually fantastic in terms of being the group that's going to be providing the training experience on this particular program. Fantastic group. I can't say enough about them and just some quick information about who they are and what they're about, and sort of their footprint in terms of the audiences that they support and the type of work that they're engaged in. They've served just over 3,500 entrepreneurs. 89% of their founders are from underrepresented groups. 59% of them are women, and 62% of them are from the BIPOC populations. 399 million in revenue has been generated through the businesses that they supported. $79 million investment has been raised in terms of the entrepreneurs and businesses that they've been working with. And just from those enterprises that they've been engaged with and they've supported and provided resources for, 9,719 jobs have been created. So this is what you call a well-established, well-suited organization in terms of we've been very excited to work with in partnership for this particular program because they've shown up in this area, a steadfast partner, a steadfast resource, and just a steadfast entity in terms of really understanding what entrepreneurs in underserved communities need, how they can position their organization to support these entrepreneurs and really be a force to reckon with in terms of really helping entrepreneurs in this arena grow really and prosper. So we're super excited to be partnering with them in this particular accelerator program. A little bit about the history around Ascend. When it first started in 2017, our CEO at the time, Harold Pettigrew, was just really taking stock of the wealth gap that happened within the communities. With the Black wealth, there was an 81 times gap of that to white households. And then also, as the slide here says, from Hispanic, there's a 22% wealth gap as well. So just looking at that, the household wealth, $284,000 as compared to the $3,500 and $1,300, or $13,000, excuse me, from the Hispanic side, just the wealth gap right there was just something that was very, very apparent. And so from the lens of Wacif, we're saying, like, looking at this disparity, what is a way that we can do our part in terms of addressing this particular gap? And that became sort of really the impetus in terms of starting the Ascend Accelerator to say, how do we begin to think about building wealth for organizations or for businesses and those business organizations, those entrepreneurs? And really this became sort of the manifest of that. And our belief within this particular paradigm is that if we make investments that are very intentional, very focused, and those investments are both in social capital, I talked about earlier, knowledge capital as well, these entrepreneurs in underserved communities, it can be much, much more catalytic. So once again, the focus here is the intentionality between how we actually think about deploying resources, organizing the ecosystems they work with to really deploy in a way that's very impactful. And so once again, our beliefs is around these particular ideas. And we believe that in this approach, that we're playing a part in being able to level the field for entrepreneurs, particularly those in underserved communities, and being able to do that will help to close the opportunity gap and empower entrepreneurs, empower innovators, and empower like-minded individuals to really grow and build their businesses and see business ownership and entrepreneurship as a real viable pathway to, once again, that wealth creation for yourselves, your family, and your communities. In terms of the accelerator itself, Ascend, part of, once again, when Harold Pettigrew started saying, well, what would be the real value? Why do we need to create something like this? We felt that there were so many accelerators that already existed in the ecosystem that kind of focused on technology, right? How do you build technology? How do you sort of increase sort of technological capacities of businesses and things of that nature? But then where was the opportunity for non-technology focused entrepreneurs to sort of use these venture-backed models to sort of grow their businesses? So once again, seeing that there was a gap in the marketplace for that, we decided to launch Ascend once again to focus on non-technology oriented businesses to help grow their opportunities. Now, this will start in 2017, 2024. In a lot of ways, most businesses are, if they're not focused on technology, definitely using lots of technology in terms of building, growing, and developing their businesses. So even though in the past was non-technology oriented, the evolution of that is that in some form or fashion, focusing on being aware of and incorporating technology into your business, especially in 2024, is just an inescapable reality. So as we talked about earlier, in 2017 is when we first launched our first Ascend program, and we actually offered it to 25 entrepreneurs. And so that was the impetus. That was kind of the initial sort of launch out the gate that kind of put us into the stratosphere in terms of the Ascend brand. And then once again, the orientation is around how do we leverage these proven technology of venture acceleration models and then apply them to, once again, these mainstream businesses or businesses that might be retail businesses, as once again, this particular cohort is focused around, or if folks are consultants, or if they're a food business, or if they happen to just be maybe working in healthcare. How do we sort of, once again, use these venture accelerated models to be able to leverage those so we can provide these opportunities for these businesses to grow in this respect? So, kind of getting into the nuts and bolts, a little bit of the actual program here. Once again, excited to be in collaboration with SeedSpot to talk about this business accelerator program that's going to be happening here shortly in terms of in the application session now, but once again with the actual launch of the program. So as I mentioned earlier, talking about some of the Ascend values, which are very, very important to us. Long-term partnership, it's not just the immediate success. We're very much focused on how do we invest in the entrepreneur themselves in terms of long term. We're not just to say, hey, participate in this cohort program, God bless, goodbye, once you finish, but we're invested. How we continue to help you 6 months after the program, a year after the program, 2 years after the program. So once again, we're very much invested in the long-term success of the entrepreneurs that come to Ascend, any of the other programs as well. We focus on the whole person, not just the business. Obviously, the business is vital. Obviously, it has to be successful. We also look at, how do we show up as an individual? So these opportunities is to see you as an individual. How can we support you as a person in conjunction with the business? So once again, if the individual is not doing well for all kinds of reasons, the business can't do well. So in a lot of ways, the program is oriented to look at the entrepreneur and the business holistically to make sure every aspect of what's on the table, individual and business, is addressed. So once again, the business can be sustainable. Trust and community building. We really, really focus on how do we build trust with the entrepreneurs we work with, and also with the institutions that are supporting us in collaboration. So trust is a factor that we're very much focused on, being transparent as possible, creating a safe space for business owners to talk about, discuss, and engage the challenges, the opportunities, their concerns and fears in terms of how they show up. And if we're not creating a safe space, a place to be vulnerable, a place to be honest, then we're really defeating the purpose. And so once again, we're really focusing on that type of environment, that type of experience when it comes to creating a very hospitable space, a very conducive space for entrepreneurs to grow and develop. And as I just mentioned in the last one, touched upon just a few seconds ago, creating a space of vulnerability. Once again, we find that's very, very important for us to focus on in terms of putting together these programs to help the entrepreneurs that we're working with. And just to kind of share, there's always a thing like, well, if I participate in the program, what's the real benefit of it? So just to quickly share, these are just some of the brands that some of our past entrepreneurs have been able to participate in, either being on those platforms, being featured. We've had some of our entrepreneurs have been featured in Oprah Magazine, been featured in HD TV, Home and Gardens. A lot have been focused articles in the Washington Post, Elle Magazine. A number have been featured in Good Morning America, Washingtonian, Target. I mean, these is just a quick sample of some of the platforms and brands that our past Ascend graduates have participated in or either been featured. So once again, we have a record of and a history of building brands and building businesses that really excel and kind of go into the stratosphere and go on to bigger and greater things. So we definitely have a track record of creating success, believing in entrepreneurs and positioning them to do great things once they leave the program. So just a quick program overview in terms of what the actual program will entail. Foundations, and that's kind of looking at the business model development. What are some of the ways, the fundamentals of building the business in terms of making sure that your business model is solid. There'll be a course that really focuses on that. Looking at your customer segments, customer engagement, and customer experience, and how we're making sure that we're focusing on that, because obviously businesses cannot grow and develop if the customers are not there. So the course and the program will be doing a lot of focusing on that. Looking at retail strategy. Once again, as you're building these businesses, what is your retail strategy? There's so many dimensions, and both on the macro and micro scale that businesses need to focus on. This course really focuses on understanding what that retail strategy looks like. If you want to show up in a brick and mortar, whether that could be Whole Foods or Walmart or any other type of brick and mortar, what should be your retail strategy to prepare yourself if that should be the route that you want to go? So once again, just in terms of the retail environment, what should be your strategy to show up in various different contexts? Marketing obviously is very important. Who are your customers? What is your marketing message? Do you understand your customer segments? Does your product align with what type of audience members? Are you selling to people who shop a lot? Are you shopping to people who buy sports equipment? So on and so forth. So the marketing will help you to focus on that. Communication, once again, that means outreach. It might be public relations or different ways in terms of communicating who you are and what you're about. And once again, how you come across those particular audience members, customers, maybe potential strategic partners, in terms of looking at that as well. And then growth. Obviously, you want to move beyond your current footprint. If you're making, as a program we'll get into here momentarily, minimum needs to be $25,000 in annual revenue. If you're trying to get to 35,000 or 50,000 or 100,000, what does that growth trajectory look like? How do you position yourself to be able to grow your business in a sustainable way that really matches who you are, your skill sets, and your ability to grow your own business as well? And then after the program is over, we also provide post-program and training support for the business. Or as I mentioned earlier, once again, that investment is not just during the program only. We look at the long-term investment in terms of the entrepreneurs that come to our programs. And so we're looking at beyond, obviously, just the 6-week program. We're looking much beyond that in terms of once the program is over, how do we continue to foster a relationship with the entrepreneurs to ensure, once again, that viability in terms of building and growing your business. And so just quickly to talk about the eligibility requirements, this is very important. Sorry about that. Once again, these are the pieces that are going to determine whether you are a good fit for the program and if you're a match for what the program is offering. Number one, making sure that you own a business that has been operating for at least 3 years and generates at least $25,000 in annual sales. The business has participated in multiple trade shows, pop-ups, in 2003 and 2024, and you have an online presence. That could be the website, social, e-commerce, but once again, some type of online presence to show that you're actually operating, that you actually have a presence online, and shows that yes, you're selling, and the demonstrations of that. You fit this business category. People ask, well, what kind of business, do I have to be in order to qualify for this? You can be independent clothing brands, urban streetwear. You're a small scale manufacturer. You're an artist selling original pieces and creative products. And if you have a unique or creative business that follows these parameters, this business is something that, this program, might be something that fits for you. And definitely something that you want to be able to participate in. And also, last but not least, be registered and in good standing and operating a business in Washington, D.C., Prince George's County, Maryland, Montgomery County, Howard County, Maryland, Arlington County, Virginia, or Alexandria. So once again, a lot of these are also located on our frequently asked questions. And so if you want to go to our FAQs on our website, that information can be addressed there in terms of questions you might have in terms of, what are the things I need to know about, or what questions you might have about the program. And these are located there as well. And once again, as I communicated, we'll be having this recorded session on our website. And you'll be able to engage that information on there as well. In terms of the expectation, once again, as businesses and business owners participate in the program, what is the expectation from your end? And the expectation is just to communicate. You need to be able to be positioned to commit up to 7 to 10 hours per week during the 6-week cohort period. For workshops, deliverables, mentoring sessions, and the different events that will be taking place during the course of the program. You need to be positioned to attend and fully participate in all online and group training sessions. They're live on Mondays and Wednesdays from 12:30 to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And also, you need to be available to participate in the one-on-one mentorship from dedicated leaders who believe in your mission. A lot of resources here in terms of mentorship, leaders, and advisory. So we want to make sure that you'll be able to be present for all of these great resources that you'll be able to take advantage of during the course of this program. And then also, we have some brand representation and sales opportunities at a number of Wacif community events. We have a Fusion Festival on October 19th. We also have an Emoji Market that's taking place on December 14th. So these are going to be some very great opportunities for you to kind of communicate with the greater community, your brand, your sales, your wares, and things of that nature. So not only is this only going to be training involved, but it's going to be an opportunity for you to actually do some brand representation in terms of awareness, communication, brand activation, things of that nature. So there's some learning and some education, but there's actual retailing and business opportunities that'll be baked into this program as well. The facilitator for this program, Drew Shaw, a fantastic gentleman who has years and years of experience in this space. He will be the person that is really facilitating a lot of these trainings. There's going to be some different trainers that are going to be involved that will be participating, but he is the force behind the training and a fantastic individual, well respected within the business community, lots and lots of experience behind him, and just a fantastic leader, fantastic entrepreneur, and just overall individual in terms of providing learning, education, and just top level expertise in terms of this particular area. Just to share a little bit of the program timeline, applications went live on August 29th and will be open till September 13th. Interviews will be ongoing until September 20th. So once again, as applications are coming in and the application team is reviewing them, if you should meet the qualifications and the requirements, and we see that it makes sense for us to conduct an interview, we'll be reaching out to you to conduct interviews as well. But once again, that will be going on an ongoing basis through the 20th of September. On the 27th, final notifications will be sent out for applicants to accept that they want to embrace or take on the invitation that we extended them to participate in the cohort. So as of September 27th, that will be the final day that folks will be communicated, if not before, that they have been accepted into the cohort program or not. And then the program itself will start on October 7th and will go on through November 13th. And then the cohort graduation then will take place on November 14th. And then as we mentioned earlier, after the program ends, November 14th, we will continue to provide that post-program training and support. And then also, as I mentioned earlier in the previous slide, we have an Emoji Market opportunity in December, which those who have participated in the program would have an opportunity once again to sell their wares, have some brand representation, engage in some brand activations and retail activity at the Emoji Market. So once again, a really great opportunity to show up in a number of different ways. So as I wanted to communicate, want to just kind of share high level in terms of what the program is about, what the expectation is, sort of the philosophy behind who we are and how we show up, sort of our values, sort of what the program is about, a little bit of information about our fantastic partner in this, Seed Spot, who is actually going to be facilitating the training, and we're super excited about their presence this year with our program. And then once again, the requirements in terms of who you are, in terms of what your accomplishments have been, and do those meet the criteria to get into the program. And then a timeline, once again, in terms of what's going to be taking place from the application, and then interviews, launch of the program, the duration of the program, and graduation as well. So once again, it's a high level on that. And so I think if there's any Q&A, I think maybe some folks might have addressed those for some of our team. Just wanted to kind of just share that as well. So let's see here. I think one of the questions we have here is how long before we start? As I said, I think the actual program, once again, the launch will start on October 4th. And actually, let me go back to that slide here just so folks can kind of see that. The program will actually start on October 7th. So folks sort of looking at their timeline, looking at their sort of their dates, that program will start on October 7th, and we need to be available through November the 13th. So just kind of addressing that one. Also want to say, let's see here. Another question. It says 30K is earned by a licensed DC business. Is this the qualifying threshold? Yes. The minimum that's required for businesses to participate will be $25,000. And so if that is, you meet that threshold, you will definitely be able to participate in the program. And so I think at the moment, I think that's all the questions that I see here on the Q&A. Let me see if there's anything else. I want to make sure I'm not missing anything. All right, it says, if I meet all but one of these eligibility requirements, are there any accommodations? Once again, as you finish the applications, there's a couple of ways that this works. We take a look at the applications. We measure the applications against the requirements. And if we feel that maybe there's an opportunity to get some more information from you to see how much of a match you are for the program, that will take place during the interview. So once again, the eligibility requirements are really kind of the entry point into the application process that allows you to get into the interviews. And if we see that the requirements, the eligibility requirements are met, and if maybe there's some things that we're like, okay, they might not meet all of them or very close, but we feel that there might be an opportunity to get more information, we'll then extend an interview to sort of maybe close some of those gaps. But really, the eligibility requirements that we just mentioned are really the way that we're going to sort of determine the ability to participate. And then once again, if there's any questions we might have, or we thinking, this is a strong candidate, they might be missing a small part of it, we will extend an interview to then find out, okay, let's see if they're really a good match for the program. It says, another question, can representatives from nonprofits attend? This program is for for-profit businesses. Unfortunately, we're not accepting any nonprofit entities. Once again, if you look at the qualifications in terms of the businesses and the eligibility, we're looking for businesses that are actually selling, once again, streetwear, small-scale manufacturers, creative wares, things of that nature. So nonprofits, unfortunately, will not be able to participate in this program. Another question, do you have any examples of brands that fit what you are looking for? Once again, as I said, as I mentioned earlier, the qualifications we mentioned, small-scale manufacturers, if you're selling streetwear, street clothing, creative wares, small-scale manufacturers, those are really the businesses that we're focusing on. That being the case, if there's any questions that folks have, we do have programs at wacif.org. Let me share this email right here. Yeah, let's see here. Yeah, folks might want to write this down, programs. It's not included here, but it is on the website, that if there's any additional questions that folks might have, you can send that email to programs, programs, at wacif.org. That's programs at wacif.org, to ask any questions that you feel might be unique to you or isn't covered in the FAQs, which is on the website, or is not covered in this presentation. So if there's any specific questions you want to ask, or you want to get some further clarification, you're more than welcome to send an email at that, and we will definitely get back to you with responses to those questions. See anything else I've been missing? What's the age limit? Could a young high school artist participate? Once again, the qualifications typically, if individuals have been developing a business for 3 to 4 years, that's what we're looking for. Once again, we don't know every single example out there, but typically if somebody is running a successful business, in terms of the time frame we're looking at, once again, not impossible, but based off of our past historical sort of representation and historical data, we very rarely have received applications or really received engagement from folks that are in high school. The type of information that's being shared, the type of training that's taking place is really for quote unquote more seasoned business owners. And that would really kind of take you beyond the high school years. We're talking about a little bit of really engaging information, once again, marketing, retail readiness, things of that nature, which really requires people that have been working in this area for some time and the ability to comprehend and build and develop a business might be beyond the grasp of a high schooler. So typically professionals, who are seasoned in that regard, will be. But if high school applicants want to apply, that's very much more than welcome to. But once again, as we talked about earlier, there's a holistic approach to this, and we will take in consideration that if the majority of applications and a lot of the applicants that are participating are, anywhere from 25 up to 85, right? We got to really take that in consideration are they going to be a good match for the cohort? Because lots of folks often are seasoned professionals, very, very interested and serious about growing their business. And we want to make sure that we're being able to meet those entrepreneurs where they are. So that was a part of the consideration as well. Next question I have, is the whole program online or the beginning of the program be in person? It's going to be hybrid. We do have, once again, the actual training itself will be online, but there will be offline, in real life or in person, brick and mortar sort of offline opportunities to engage. So technically, the program is hybrid. But once again, the education and the training themselves on the 2 days will be taking place via online platforms. Let's see, can representatives from nonprofits attend? I think I've addressed that before. Once again, nonprofits, unfortunately, will not be able to participate in this program. Are there other businesses that do not meet the 25,000 revenue threshold? There are lots of programs in the DC area that might be able to speak to those opportunities. I can't name all of them off the top of my head, but there's a lot of accelerator programs that businesses can participate in that can be for small scale manufacturers or businesses in general. Um, uh, and just making sure that that we're able to meet that threshold for this particular program. But once again, yeah, there's other opportunities out there. I can't name them off the top of my head. But yeah, there are other opportunities out there for businesses that might not meet that $25,000 revenue threshold. Another question is, we do mostly baked goods and merchandise. Does this qualify? Absolutely. That qualifies as a small scale manufacturer. We're manufacturing or making baked goods. Once again, that is definitely something that is within the realm of this program. It says, will your program consider expanding to Atlanta, Georgia? If you have plans to grow beyond the DC region in the future, that's sort of in the plan, that's fine. But at present, the businesses need to be located within the Washington, DC area, along with the other counties I mentioned, Northern Virginia, and also in Maryland as well. And once again, those are the particular areas where those businesses need to be located currently. But if in the future, or it could be 6 months from now, you're planning on doing some pop-ups in Atlanta or pop-ups in Vegas or LA or New York or wherever it is, that's totally fine. But the business initially currently needs to be based in the Washington, DC area. Last question I have here is also what opportunities participate in the program may get, especially in terms of access to funds. I think the question is asking here, is there any opportunity where programs that they can participate, where folks can get access to maybe grants, funding, or grant to other capital opportunities? Once again, there's a lot of different resources, a lot of different like services, a lot of different organizations and opportunities where businesses are offering either training to financial resources to build and develop your business. Once again, being able to communicate the breadth and scope of those today is beyond what we're here to talk about. But once again, if you have any questions or any thoughts about how to grow and develop your business, once again, as I mentioned earlier in our program, Wacif provides technical assistance. So we definitely can be in a space to provide for you resources or individuals or organizations or other institutions, financial institutions, where if funding your business or getting loan opportunities is something that you're seeking, we can provide some information for you in that regard. So once again, besides the Ascend program, Wacif in general provides a multitude of opportunities for you to learn about resources. Once again, setting up technical assistance appointments with our TA, with our small business markets managers, and they can get that information to you. But once again, just for the scope of this is talk mainly about the Ascend program. Other resources in the ecosystem are available, just unable to go into those, the breadth and depth of those currently at the moment. So once again, we're here at time. I thank you all for attending today's information session. Um, just apologies on the technical assistance and getting started a little bit late, but once again, we were able to stay within the amount of time allotted, and then also to answer the questions that you have proposed here. And I mentioned earlier, this webinar is recorded and will be located on our website for future reference purposes. So that will be available to a resource as you're going through your applications. And then if you're needing to go back to say, okay, I have a question, let me see if I can get an answer. So once again, we have an FAQ on our website. This video will also be available for reference purposes. And then last but not least, programs@wacif.org is an email that you can ask questions if some of that information doesn't meet some of your standards, or there's some additional information that you need, you're more than welcome to send an email into that address, and we will definitely get back to you to answer your question as well. So once again, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. Really hope and anticipate